we're back, and we just finished watching 2020's Wolfwalkers, an Apple original film directed by Tomm Moore, Ross Stewart, with writing credits to Will Collins, based on a story by Tomm Moore and Ross Stewart. The story is about a young girl, Robin, and her father who go to Ireland to, under the direction of the Lord Protector, to clear out a pack of wild
No,
wolves.
I think he just wanted them. I think he just wanted them dead because they're really annoying.
Okay, so there was a pack of wild wolves
there was
in
a
this
pack of
Irish
wolves
countryside.
in the forest outside of a
Village.
It wasn't really a village. It was sort of it was like a walled little city.
Right? But the
And,
people
I
outside
It was a
hurting.
kingdom.
No, it wasn't a
No,
kingdom.
it was
just
like
a
it was in
walled city.
Ireland,
Because
right?
the guy wasn't the king. He was the Lord Protector.
Right?
Which means he was sort of like a governor.
Yes. So they're in Kilkerry, Ireland in 1615.
Yes.
That's where the story begins. And something happens. Well, I mean, are we doing spoilers here? Because it's
You
really
know what?
new.
We'll do what we
Did
do.
before. Okay.
We'll say, okay, after a certain amount of time, we'll say, okay, now spoilers are going to be discussed. If you don't like it, turn it off.
Okay, so you know what? So then why don't we do impressions? Gee, this was your selection. Fabulous, by the way. What made you want to see this movie?
The trailer.
The trailer is good. The trailer is good.
What about the trailer intrigued you?
All of it?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Olive G, what did you like about this movie?
I like the art design.
You like the way that everybody was drawn?
And also I'm terrible at sketch lines.
That was one of the things. The art style on this is very similar to what was that
Sea of
song?
Kells, right? Is that the other movie?
No,
that
The
they
Secret
did?
of the Kells,
The Secret of
and,
the Kells.
and Song of the Sea, I think.
Song of the Sea, right?
And like a lot
I
of
think
lot
in
of
the
lot
trailer
of simple.
It actually said it was made from the Song of the
Yeah,
Sea.
It's the same.
It utilizes a lot of
Yeah.
simple shapes, and another thing that's interesting about the art style is, oftentimes, even though it's a finished animated product, you still see the little sketch lines that they use to create the creatures. So if you're a young artist who's interested in getting into drawing, this film would probably be an interesting little study for you.
Right.
Because you'll see, like, even though like they have like these big lustrous heads of hair, especially Maeve and her mom, you'll see where the back of the head is, how they draw it, and a thing that I've noticed, like with kids and when they're drawing, is they don't understand the shapes underneath the shapes,
Right.
and the importance of understanding the shapes underneath the shapes. That everything
Clothes
you see
goes over a body, not
everything you see in the
connected
world is
to the
made
neck.
up of simple shapes, circles, rectangles, squares. You don't notice it, but it is. And if once you master that and you know how to put them together in good proportion, and you use sketch lines, light, simple lines, and then you draw the good stuff on top, you could erase the sketch lines. In this film, they left them in. It was a stylistic choice, and it was really nice. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
And Olive did too, which is interesting because she likes to draw.
What do you think I wouldn't be interested?
What did you have a favorite character in this film, Olive G?
Olive?
I feel like you were very similar to Maeve, so I wondered if she was maybe your favorite character.
Maeve!
Oh, you just didn't know her name?
No, I knew her name.
Okay.
It's just that I was thinking.
What'd you like about Maeve?
She reminded me of you a lot. Very over the top personality, and
Very animal-like.
there's that too. Yeah.
There's that, yeah. Wild, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's you.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I pretend to be a monkey.
Yes, you do pretend to be.
What about you, G? Did you have a favorite character in this thing?
No.
No. What did you think about Robin and the relationship with her father?
I kind of hated her dad.
Why?
He was annoying and overbearing.
Was
That's
he
the role of
was
a
he
father.
was he overbearing or was he overprotective?
Overprotective, probably.
Because overbearing would mean he was just sort of like a jerk for being the sake of being a jerk.
Right. There is a reason why he was overprotective.
He was overprotective because they were newcomers in a strange land.
With people that didn't want them there.
They didn't want them there. The Irish did not like the English.
For a very long time.
For a very long time.
Historically.
And also there weren't any child labor laws.
Yeah,
No.
That was
They
forced
sent her
us.
right to the scullery.
Us children don't do labor.
you don't have to yell. Okay.
You have people who are
We're not
doing the labor
we're not sending
here.
you to the scullery anytime
Yeah,
soon.
seriously. You kids got it easy.
Kids got it easy. You see, back then there was no childhood. It was like, oh, you could hold something, get to work.
Yes, exactly. You can walk now, pick
Yeah.
up a broom.
Those tiny fingers will be put to good use.
Yeah.
Cleaning little pots and pans.
Gotta.
Yeah.
That
You
was
guys
sad.
are living your best lives,
But yeah,
honestly.
Robin's father was overprotective. He clearly something happened with the mom that she probably died. He was trying to make a life for his daughter as a hunter, and he really wasn't doing that great a job. I mean,
He wasn't
granted, he
listening to
wasn't
his
dealing
child.
with ordinary types of wolves. There was some intelligence going on there that you don't really expect to see. These were cartoon wolves.
Yeah.
But he was really striking out, and that Lord Protector was getting mighty impatient with him.
Yeah. And it was nice to see that he didn't die, being
Sean
that
Bean.
it was voiced by Sean Bean. So it was, for a minute there, I was like, oh no, does the Sean Bean streak
Yeah.
continue? But it
The-
didn't, thank
The
goodness.
rare film where Sean Bean isn't killed.
Yes.
Was
Yeah,
it-
what did
he
you think
didn't
about
die.
I liked it a lot. I mean, it was nicely paced. All the characters were endearing. I like the friendship that bloomed between
Maeve and
Robin
Robin.
and Maeve. I mean, you could see it's very antagonistic at first. You get a little bit worried in the beginning when you see that bird get hurt.
Yes.
And you're thinking, because
Oh, no.
Maeve looks totally feral.
Yes.
And you think, oh God, something bad's going to happen to
Merlin
that
just
bird.
became a snack.
Merlin became a snack, but the friendship blooms, and it felt natural. Yeah, I mean, overall, I would say this is a really good story. It's rated
Very
it's
strong.
rated G, right?
Rated G. It's an
Rated-
hour and 43 minutes, which is not a short film, but I think that I agree with you. I think the pacing is nicely done. There's a lot
Yeah.
going on,
Little
but
kids
it
will not
never
be
feels
bored
like
with
it
it.
lags.
Yeah.
From point A to point B, I kind of predicted where it ended in my
If
mind.
only she had listened to her father and not gone through the gates.
Right.
But then she wouldn't have found Maeve, so.
Exactly. Everything happens for a reason. I think that obviously things have to happen in a certain order for the story to move along. But
Yep, usually children do not listen to their parents.
yes, this is true. Like
That
you.
is a big plot
A lot.
point in a lot of kids'
Yes.
movies.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say too that even though it is 2D animation, it still felt crisp and vibrant and full of life. And I don't know if it was just that we're not used to seeing that type of animation, but it was very detailed in spite of.
that is a good point. It's very lush. It's like
Yeah.
it's not cheap cell animation.
No,
like-
it's
like,
not in the slightest.
This was crafted with extreme care.
And
It's beautiful
a
animation.
real just love and attention to detail. I mean, you know when people love what they do. The company I think is Cartoon Salon, right? I think they got it right up in the New York Times recently. But yeah, I mean, most of their stories, they're small house like Leica, and most of their stories are very, I guess, Irish centric, based in folklore and stuff like that.
yeah.
So it definitely comes across in every
Absolutely,
frame.
and the way and the
in the
influence,
storytelling.
the influence in the artwork, everything about it. You
Yeah,
could definitely.
just-
This studio definitely has a style.
Yes,
Sort of
yes.
like how Pixar has their style and Disney's got their style. This studio definitely has
a style. Even Leica, they
like a
every
very, and it does have that like heavy sort of Irish influence.
you sure? I mean, I didn't think because originally we were going to see a different movie, and we wound up seeing this movie. So I didn't really do a deep dive on this, but there must be something in folklore about it, about wolves and magic and stuff like that in the
I mean,
woods.
folklore
and when you think of
everywhere is
Ireland, you
fascinating,
think
yeah.
of like rolling green hills and just lushness and
They have
people
they,
of the land.
Yeah, I mean,
and-
they have a ton of mythology and folklore. I mean, you don't normally hear too much about it. I mean, it seems like mythology mainly is dominated by like Greek and Norse mythology.
Sure, but
You don't really hear
obviously
too much
different
about,
cultures too.
Irish or other cultures like that. But this was a great story.
Yeah, I really kudos to Apple. I am not a huge fan of Apple, but I am a fan of Wolfwalkers. Are we at the portion where we're
Well,
now?
let's give our numbers. And
Let's give our numbers.
And then we'll do spoilers.
Gigi, since this was your film, what would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 10?
9.
A 9.
I'd probably give it like an 8.5, a 9.
Yeah, I was thinking 8.5 to 9. I'll go in between, 8.75.
Olive?
9.
9? All
Excellent.
right. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great
this
movie.
is definitely on the higher
High
scale.
scores, yeah.
Just beautiful storytelling, excellent voiceover work from all of the actors across the
All the
board.
actors. It's safe for kids. Like I said,
Completely
it's
safe for
rated
kids.
G. There's no blood. Even when a character gets bit, like the marks that are left behind are just sort of like little
Dance.
sort of shapes, really.
Yeah.
You know.
What about
it's-
that cut? Blood was
Even
shown
even
there.
even the cut. No, that blood wasn't really even shown there. It
not
was
really.
it was actually glowing.
Yeah.
Little drips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
and
was no blood. There's certain parts where you get a little worried.
Sure.
You know,
There's
but
some
that's
darkness and some frightening scenes.
yeah,
or
like as I mentioned, the
Suspense,
the,
I should say.
the scene with you're worried for that bird.
Merlin. Sure, and then, well, I don't want to say towards the end, but whatever. So if you don't want spoilers, now is the time to go away.
Mhm. Let's say-
Because
we'll
we
say
are
goodnight.
Watch
going to
another
spoil
YouTube
the crap
video.
out
Say
of this
goodnight
now.
to the spoiler averse people because
Yes.
we're moving into spoiler territory.
All right, here we go.
Very
So,
nice.
as far as spoilers, I felt like I knew where this movie was going to end.
I kind of felt the same too, especially when you get or you find out that there basically is no way for Robin to go back to her former life.
Right.
That because what happens in the movie is during the first encounter between Robin and Maeve, Maeve, who is a Wolfwalker, which basically is somebody who's human when they're awake, when they go to sleep,
They become a wolf.
their spirit comes out and becomes a wolf, like a physical wolf in the real world. So when Maeve and Robin first meet, Maeve is a wolf, and Robin is terrified, and a chase ensues. Robin gets caught in a little snare trap. She's hanging upside down, and Maeve is actually trying to get her down, but Robin hits her, and she bites her back. And because she bit her back, now I guess it's like the werewolf. Now she's going to become a Wolfwalker as well. And she discovers that late one night while she's sleeping. Boom, suddenly she's a wolf. Her dad sees it, freaks the hell out.
Because he thinks it's a wolf attacking his
And
house.
he's- And he's a wolf hunter, so adventure ensues from there.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's more to this if we had dove into like the folklore of, I guess, Ireland and myths and legends of Ireland, but we didn't have a chance to do that, which is fine. But again, super impressed with the look of the movie, with the tight storytelling. Nothing's wasted. There are no points where my mind wandered or I was bored or anything else. And I feel like just really solid storytelling.
Absolutely, all the way through.
All the way
Seriously,
through.
on sometimes with kids' movies, you like the pacing's messed up, or it's just stupid nonsense that drags where nothing's really going on. It's like, oh, let's throw a montage in there where they're dancing to music or something. This was just a solid story all the way through. It evolved naturally.
Everybody organic, yeah.
Like you said, you could sort of see where it's going. I kind of realized that at the end, Sean Bean would be joining them in this
New life.
Wolfwalker life, despite the fact that he was like,
A total D-bag.
no,
Wasn't
come
a
on, let's give
D-bag.
Sean Bean a break here. The dad was being a dad. I mean,
Exactly.
he's raising a kid, a daughter alone in medieval
Ireland.
Europe,
Yeah.
medieval Ireland, and let's be honest, he knows what's up.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, if
he's
you live
Ed
to be
Stark,
24,
man.
That's true.
He's
And
Ed Stark. He knows all about daughters.
I was gonna say, if you live to be 24, that's old. In
Yeah,
that
you live
day
to
and
be
age.
24. You're old. And there's no protection.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically a slave to the biggest jerk in the world, and
Yeah.
he knows I got to do everything this
This
guy
guy
says.
says.
And you understand why, because the Lord Protector, his go-to response is put him in the stocks.
Yeah.
Chain him, put him in the stocks.
Exactly. Life was cheap,
Life was cheap.
and humans were just
Yeah.
throwaway.
And his wife's dead.
Yeah.
He's raising this kid by himself.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
The only other kids in town are monsters.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
like,
Yeah, they're just like, get the wolf!
yeah, like what kind of
My
game?
secret hunter!
What kind of game are they? Like one kid is just caged the entire time, and he's thrilled about it too. It's like what kind of mental abuse
I
are
don't
these
know.
kids going through every day?
It's
But-
it's funny. The scene where one of the scenes, like, because of course I'm a huge Marshmallow and Softie, and I really get impacted by stories. The scene that sort of really tugged at my heartstrings was when he said, "I'm afraid," to her.
Yeah,
I'm afraid.
that was basically finally the truth from his lips to her.
Right.
It wasn't, we just have to do
What the
do
Lord
it because I say so,
or
and
the Lord Commander said,
and
or
this is the
whatever.
reason, because I am afraid.
Yeah.
You're going to die like your mother died,
Right.
if you don't start listening. And she's trying to explain to him, but I'm a wolf walker, and this is a wolf walker, and he's just like, enough with your fairy tales.
So yeah, I mean, I guess the overall theme of this would be tying into, I feel like, nature and protecting animals and protecting the forests and being mindful of
And friendship too.
friendship.
Because in the beginning, Robin, her desire was to kill wolves.
Right, right.
She wanted to be a hunter like her dad.
Her dad.
And she's like wolf posters everywhere with arrows sticking out of
Sticking out of
them. And talk about a change. She realizes that there's something more out there.
It's funny you said that. When I was watching the movie and she does that about face, I thought of JoJo. How
Yes.
JoJo has a complete change in his character arc when he meets the girl and he gets to know her and ultimately kind of falls in love with her.
Mhm.
And in this case, it was almost like they were sisters at the end, right?
Yeah.
They become like this new family, this new
Yeah.
blended family.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was very lovely. Just, yeah, kudos to,
I love the way they drew the wolves too.
Yeah.
They were like a swarm,
Yes.
like almost like waves.
Yes.
It was beautifully done.
Yes, absolutely.
And even though there was a lot of uniformity in how they portrayed them, when they showed them just relaxing, you could see like each wolf's face had its own
characteristics,
and
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was really well done.
Yeah, so kudos to Apple, even though I don't like your products. You seem to make decent stories
Apple
here.
just basically paid to put it on their service.
I guess.
I don't think that they were like fiddling with the script.
I'm sure I'm going to butcher this. Melusine Productions, Cartoon Salon, who are the production companies that make all these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic storytelling. Really well done. Super impressed. Again, it looks like every frame, again, you can tell when people love what they do, and it speaks to you on every frame in this film. And it looks like pages in a book, in a story. And it's very immersive in that way, too.
Everything looks almost like it's painted.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful animation style. It's a beautiful animation style. And God knows how long it took to make that, right? I mean, it's not a short movie. It's an hour and 43 minutes. So painstakingly, I mean, I'm sure they use computers and stuff to speed up the work.
Involved,
yes.
yeah, but it's still beautiful.
It's still beautiful. And somebody had to have had that idea. Somebody had to have sketched it. There's a lot of names in the credits. A lot of work goes into this. If you have Apple TV and if you haven't seen Wolfwalkers, what the hell is wrong with you? If you don't, it might be a reason to invest in it, I suppose.
Yeah, they also got Ted Lasso.
They do have Ted Lasso, which was my favorite TV series of last year. Absolutely.
It was one of the few good things in 2020.
One of the very few good things of 2020. Yeah, and this too, very feel good. Yeah. Very feel good feeling after this movie.
Yes, it has a happy ending.
It has a happy ending, which is great for kids. Good stories about friendship. Understanding. Kind of putting yourself in another person's position to kind of see their viewpoint. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot going on here, and I feel like this movie is fantastic because I think you could show it to a 2-year-old, but the 92-year-old grandmother or great-grandmother will also enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really feels like this is a movie that just across the board, again, excellent storytelling, tight script, fantastic art direction, design, animation, everything. It just all came together really, really well.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right, that's it from us, and we'll be back with another review soon. Good night.
Good night.
Night.